Proud of boys. Peace. What's good with you boys out there? Come to talk to you boys today about semen retention and dealing with heartbreak. And this topic was requested by a subscriber, someone in the channel who left a comment with a request of doing this audio on this topic. So, you guys who have ideas of what you want to hear about as far as trying to maneuver through life as a man on semen retention, if you're single, obviously, if you're dealing with heartbreak, you're not dealing with anybody. But I know guys out there, they tend to be lonely on this journey. Life starts to change, and it doesn't change for their fitting. Sometimes people either gravitate to them, or as I commonly see it in my life and from my experience, people repel away from you. And that's the thing about attraction. People can be attracted to you, but when they are in your vicinity and around you and get to really know you, be around you in your aura, some people have to repel. That's why you get hate. You get a lot of things that go on when you're on this journey. But in particular, we're going to talk about heartbreak, women, all right, in particular, all right? But understand this about you first. This is about you, and this is something that you have caused in your life to allow heartbreak to happen. Let me say that again. If you are dealing with heartbreak in your life, dealing with women, this is something that you have caused. This is your own fault. You can't blame anybody else. This isn't a blame game. I don't want anybody coming on here for future reference saying I'm women shaming. And no, listen, guys, we take full accountability for our actions. Whatever anybody else does for their actions, that's on them. They have to look in the mirror. They have to live life according to them. And they can live their truth. Their truth is always going to be their truth. So you can't concern yourself with that. Understand that you have your life to live in your truth to live. You dig? So understand that you allowed that person into your life to cause whatever is happening with you right now. You allowed that to happen. So we take full accountability for our actions. And as I go deeper into this topic, you'll begin to understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. I don't care if the girl cheated on you. You allowed it to happen because you allowed this person into your life to the point where whatever actions that they did with their mindset under their own volition, it's affecting you in a way. It's affecting you. And you have to come to YouTube to get advice, or you have to consult with me to get advice, a stranger. That's how I always pop it off with most of my consultations, because I want guys to grasp how serious this is. All right. So we have to take accountability as men first. Boom. All right, bet. We got that part first, right? It's your fault. You allowed this person to come in and have that much of an effect on you as to where their actions affect you. The first thing is first, when you're dealing with heartbreak, and obviously if you're here, you're on semen retention, and maybe you're going through the motions or whatever the case may be, wherever you're at in life, it don't really even matter, right? But you're dealing with trauma, and this is what we do ultimately when we're on semen retention. We are dealing from trauma, whether it be from healing from P, watching too much P. We have caused trauma to our brain. These images, these pixels, the flashes, all this stuff has warped our brain. So we are healing from a certain type of trauma. When we look at heartbreak, allowing someone to come in, a female to come into your life and hurt you, break your heart, dwell within your emotions enough to the point where it has affected you and you can't focus, you can't sleep at night, you keep thinking about this person, you allow that to happen, you let this person in your life. So this is trauma that you are going through. This is first. All right, I know I said first we take accountability, but understand with us now that we have reshifted the focus and we put it on us, not the other person, we understand we us men, we are dealing with trauma. All right, keep calm, relax, and breathe. Meditate and pray. Tap in with yourself. Focus on yourself. This is all, this is basic things that you need to do. Just calm down. Stop thinking so much. Stop reminiscing about the past so much. All right. Certain things will come. And depending on how long the attachment or soul tie, how long you've been having, relations with this person, it's difficult to just let it go. I understand that. It's easy to just say, yo, stop thinking about the person and it'll all go away. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the same way it takes time to heal from trauma, you have to take it just as serious with heartbreak. It takes the same steps as when you're on semen retention. It takes a day 1. It takes a day 2. It takes 7 days. It takes a month. Depending on the soul tie and depending on the relationship, the attachment, if you have kids with this person. All right. Me, myself, I have an 8-year-old son and I am divorced. So I have a soul tie and attachment for a lifetime with someone that I'm no longer currently with. And I had to go through those same motions, even though my emotions, you don't know the full story of why the divorce happened, but trust me, it wasn't that I wasn't heartbroken. It was devious. It was a more sinister of a breakup. So it wasn't, my emotions were completely cut off. But I've been heartbroken in the past for sure. Having, first girlfriends, females, ghosting me after, just certain things that as you go through with life. I'm almost 40. I'm a 37-year-old man. So I've gone through my teens. I've gone through my 20s, my early, late 20s. I've lived a decent amount of half of my life. Now I'm on to, the other side of my life where I know how to navigate through and through. I've been through some shit. You dig? So understand, I know how deep my soul tie goes and my attachment is to that said person. But when I understand my emotions as a man, and especially being on semen retention, controlling my emotions, my most important is what, guys, on semen retention is our sexual desires. That emotion plays on us big. It plays on our ego. It's a lot. That lust that builds up within us dealing with women, or that tension that builds up with women, all that energy, all that is energy that is within us. And when we harness it the right way, we utilize it and we are able to control ourselves better and control our emotions. But it takes time, guys. That's why you need to be on semen retention for extended amount of time. Me, myself, the longest I've been on this journey going on 3 years now, 3.5 years. That's I include that time because I've gone a year and some change straight. All right, follow me here. I've gone a year and some change straight. All right, no intercourse, no nothing, no fat, whatever you want to call it, right? But I've been on this journey of going through 90 days, 120 days, and then having intercourse or relapsing early on in my journey. All right. Nowadays, when I release is with a female. Like I don't resort back to pee. I know what like I'm trying to build my brain. I'm not trying to cause any disturbance that's already been caused from the past. When I was dwelling, in pee, before I found semen retention. All right. But understand, I've gone through all of those motions in my 3-year journey. All right. Extending my semen retention past, according to my journey, a year and some change. All right. But understand that with that time, 3 years in that time frame, all right, and then dealing with other females, not just dealing with my ex-wife, all right, and having to go through those motions and getting away from that attachment, but also dealing with other females, dating and stuff like that. All right. It helps. And dating is not just about dating women and then having sex with them. It's about connection, talking to them. All right. It's not just about, yo, let me get out of this soul tie and then get into another one and latch on. No, you don't latch on to other soul ties. That's not what you do to get away from that person and to disconnect from a soul tie. That shit is still there, especially if you have kids with that person, bro. Especially if you have been, with very intimate sexual intercourse for extended period of time. But kids, especially, that person has carried your seed 9 months and created a whole nother life. I'm no expert, but I listen, I guarantee that soul tie carries on. It's just about the connection. If the connection is gone, there's nothing that can, regenerate it unless you try to bring it back. So you have to reset. You have to let go, guys. Dealing with this trauma, it takes time. It takes the work. You use semen retention. To do that, you control your sexual desires. You control your emotions. You get the clarity in your head. Your focus. All right? You're used to patterns. You're used to patterns of that person, dependency. You were dependent on that person at one point. So you have to break those habits. This is the same practice that we do on semen. We're breaking habits. Tricking our body. All right? This is sex and your lifestyle habits. How frequent were you having sex with this person? How dependent were you on this person for that type of pleasure? Now that you're not getting no more, you're recovering from trauma. Your crackhead shaking, trembling. I need. No, bro, you need to kick that. You need to kick that shit and you need to work at it. Get the focus back on you, bro. Go to God. Seek God first. You keep on going to someone outside of yourself, go to God. That's what I like to recommend to anybody. I believe that God is all within us. But when I see guys revert too much outside of themselves, especially to women in that fashion, yo, bro, if you want to go to somebody first, go to God first. If you're going to go to somebody outside of yourself, let's keep going, guys. The next thing you got to do is focus on your heart. Put your heart in the right place. Live righteously. Do the right thing. Easier said than done, I know. But when you are on the lifestyle path of semen retention, you are already on that path. It's just that you're going through this rut. You're still focused on the women, right? Or you're focused on a woman. She's broken your heart, or whatever the case may be. You have to take your focus away from that girl, that woman, whatever the case may be. Women in general. Once you get out of a breakup, once you're dealing with heartbreak, honestly, your focus should immediately be off of women, period. Like, you shouldn't be going out there to date other women, going to the strip club. I've done that, and that's a mistake, bro. Once again, it's about accountability. I know the mistakes that I've made on my journey. That's why I'm open and honest and willing to come to you guys and let you guys know, don't do this, because I did it and it ended me up in the same cycle of getting back on semen retention and just carrying it further by myself. And I'm cool with that. All right? I'm cool with that. The thing is that, guys, you have to navigate and talk to these women a certain way when you are with them. Sex shouldn't be something that's on the table. You have to immediately draw that back, draw that off to the table. If you're going to be friends, then be friends. But for me, I got another audio coming real soon, guys. about having no friends, keeping your circle very small. All right. But understand that if you're open to friends, all right, you have to change the way you see your friends in your friend group and close that circle up. That means when I say put your heart in the right place and watch your friends, all right, look to see who brings that to the table for you, who is good around you, who's living that also righteous lifestyle. If it's one person, then you need to be clinging to that person. That's the person that you need to be around. All right. But reset your focus and your attention. You gave your heart to someone and you allowed them to break it. Your focus and attention was on them. You gave your heart, you gave your energy, you gave your emotions to them. Now you're heartbroken. And once again, it's really your fault. Someone mishandled what you gave them. Your expectations that they would take care of whatever it is that you were presenting and whatever you depended on them for. And now that you're not getting that, now you're heartbroken. That person drew back their energy and now you were dependent on that. And now it's your fault because you relied on that. You should have taken better care of yourself and guarded yourself, guarded your heart a little bit more. It's about self-care on Semen Retention, self-awareness, self-efficient. You are too dependent on that person. That's why you're heartbroken right now. Everyone isn't perfect and everyone changes. People change. We are all not perfect. We're not perfect beings as human beings in flesh. All right. But once when you tap into soul, yourself, you begin to learn the lessons of life. Not everyone should be trusted with your energy to the point where you can be left in the state that you're in. When you recycle back your energy, especially your life force energy, especially away from sex, all right? You do wonders to the body, all right? You do wonders to the mind. But I always harp on this. Your spirit, tapping in with really yourself, your soul, all right? You generate so much power back, and you guys don't understand. Being that people change, you morph. That's why people say you look different on Semen Retention. Your face, your glow, everything begins to change about you. But there's something else you're missing about this change. And I'm going to get to it. All right. We're going to get close to, it's going to be the last point that I make. But this change that I'm talking about with people and understanding that people change, people aren't perfect. That includes us also. Right. And once again, we allow people to come into our life and have this effect on us. This is the thing. Now that you're at this point, you got the game to Semen Retention. If you don't, go look at the other vids and get on your shit. And take it 90 days. Trust me. Take it 90 days and change, transform, transmute all that energy. What begins to happen is that your emotions begin to change. You begin to get more calm and relaxed. And now this leads to not giving a fuck. You're so nonchalant. You're too cool. Like you don't care. Do not let anyone play with your emotions. That's the state you need to get to. Not playing around anymore. People taking advantage of you, your energy, your heart. This is why we're on Semen Retention. People are going to attract to us for sure, but understand that our energy is for us to maneuver through what we have to maneuver through. Become emotionally unavailable. This is the cold front. Cold. You got to be cold. No emotions. Stone cold. An icebox where my heart used to be. Omarion, if you guys are familiar with pop music or R&B, Omarion has a song called "I Got a Heart, I Got an Icebox Where My Heart Used to Be." Guys, this is very serious. All right, I'm laughing and joking, but that song popped in my mind as I'm doing, you know what I mean, as I'm talking to you boys. But these are facts. I can't think of the lyrics of the song right now in my head. I'm gonna go and listen to it. But I remember somebody goes, "I'm so cold, I'm so cold." He's turned off. Like now, when you look at women in a certain fashion, when you're on semen retention, you know what to expect now, and you have gone through the heartbreak, or you've gone through, and now you're diverting your focus, and now what you start to see, even if you're dealing with your ex and you see whatever she did to you to break your heart, you're gonna be like, "Yo, you will listen." I won't say regret, but you'll be at a state where you're cool with whatever happened. You'll be like, you know what? That was me at that point. I was this kind of way. My mind was here. Now that I'm here, I'm cool with it. You'll be able to slide through, but your emotions have to be turned off. Those traits, that's what I was going to. Those traits that were, you'll be turned off. And when you see it in other women, it'll immediately turn you off from that. Your emotions will be more in check. You'll know how to navigate, guys. Trust me. Trust me. All right. You have to be emotionally available to these women. Turn it off. Take your attention off. Listen, bro. This is the only way you get to the other side of semen retention. All right. You have to be cold hearted. Remove your emotional attachments from people in general. You have to become more selfish. Straight like that. You got to be more selfish. I can't can't sugarcoat it. I can't put it any other way. Once again, I know what it sounds like. All right. You want to be there for people. Might be an empath. You feel, you know what I mean? You have feelings for people. You want to help. But guys, on the semen retention journey, your energy has to be taken very serious. Anybody can play on your energy. And when you are dealing with women and they are breaking your heart, bro, that seriously needs to be looked at. All right. I know God, you know what I mean? The dude put it in the comments. He wanted me to do the topic, but I feel like more and more guys needed to hear this. You feel me? I've been at that stage and that point. All right. So I know what that feeling is like. And then being on semen retention too, dealing with that type of emotions can evoke relapses. I know. So it's not easy. But now you're at a space where you cannot take your journey and compromise that because you're going through these emotions for someone outside yourself. The only remedy is to be selfish. Care more about you. Do what is right for you. One of the best things I like to do is reflect and pray and meditate. I'm not perfect every day, but at least once a day, I can guarantee that I pray. Reason being, every night where I don't have my son with me, when I have to, FaceTime when he's with his mom, I say a prayer with him every night. All right. That's been happening since we have been separated. All right. And once again, I'm not perfect every day. And, I don't, it hasn't been every single night, but I make sure even in my own time and space being on this journey. You guys have followed me. If you're here now, if you're catching this new, I appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe and get in tune with the channel. Go look at some past audios. Go listen to some past audios. But look, in my personal time, being on this semen retention journey, doing a lot of self work, doing a lot of meditation, getting out into nature, grounding myself. All right, doing a lot of you know practices that I like to do to build my spirituality. It has been something that has been a benefit of channeling back that time to myself in my alone time, to the point where I got females that I deal with and I cut them off, bro. I gotta cut them off. I got a rotation of 4 females right now that I can hit up, have a conversation with, set up a date, go out and do all that, right? But my priorities right now are in another space. I cannot be out here chasing women. I got a goal to get after. If I text a female, she don't text me back, cool, I'm done. That's it. I text you, you don't text back. All right. Guys, you have to be the ghost. You have to disappear. You have to become more selfish. You have to care more about yourself. Me, I cut off social media. I don't have an Instagram. I barely got a Facebook. I'm on YouTube, but I don't do face videos. Like, bro, you have to go dark. You have to go in the shadows. You did. A lot of guys are scared to go into the darkness. I was afraid to be alone and all this other stuff. Once again, I got another audio coming. It may be shorter. All right. But more audios are on the way. Guys, I appreciate your time and attention coming to check this content. I'll catch y'all in the next one. With that said, with love, peace.